We're in the ages of the Empire uh, program. I'm not very good at these 3D board map games that you see now. They're just difficult for me to do. But this is an old style or old school 3D map game. One of the front runners to the start of all these. This is the Microsoft's Ages of the Empire, and I thought I'd do this. Now, I'm kind of surprised that it's actually working in this OS because this isn't made for 7. This is actually made for 98 and 95. So what we're going to do here is that this is a scenario builder, so we're going to go by way of the scenario building. We're going to go choose the race of people we want to be. We're going to zero out what we have in supplies, and we're going to set up our AI player, and we will also zero out their supplies. Kind of makes it fair. These are the units. This is a diplomacy. There's only 2 of us, so we're all going to be enemy. This is whatever. You know what this is. We could use different scenarios for lose, wins, or victories. This is message scenario. We can shut off the technology tree, but we're going to leave it alone. The global victory is going to be conquest. I'm not interested in the scores. They mean absolutely nothing to me. Scores never meant anything to me, to be honest. I could care less about who's got the highest score. The time limit, you'll never make it. The custom is basically what you're looking at. It allows you to select more than one of these. The standard is going to be one or the other selected or monuments built. I like the conquest. It's the game wins by who is on the brink of extinction, and that is what your fight is going to be. So there are no individual victories. So we're going to set up our map. This is the random map. I want to do an island. I'm going to do large island and generate that. Now I'm going to do a little bit of editing. I always do because they make everything so close by. And what I want to do is increase the size of the river and add a little more resource and make sure that there are no scouts here. I do that because the scouts will come around and the purpose of the scouts is to explore your land region. But what the computer does is it sends it to look for you. So even though he's not ready to engage in war with you, his scout will find you and they will send the whole army of whatever he has. And you may have the gates and defense towers and soldiers, and where if he sends an army in here, it will destroy everybody in a single sweep. Well, that's what's going to happen. So by eliminating the scout, he has no choice but to build his army so that he can go out exploring, and then he'll do something, which is what I want him to do. The problem with this map is this is one of the first series of this style type game, so therefore it is a little bit awkward to play because you don't have a whole lot of people to have on your nation, and not only you not have enough of them, but the it has some very odd things it'll do. Like it's it may go and they might actually do nothing. That means that this is how they looked when they started. This is how they look right now. And you'll be ready with an army marching right into their territory and they'll still be looking like that. And that's where it kind of gets the little oddities going on because it's like, are you serious? But yeah, it tends to do that. So what you got to do is you got to it's kind of like work with it. Now with this game here, it works within the Windows 95 98, so it uses the old DirectX driver system. Because you gotta understand, DirectX 9C is basically a modded version of DirectX 10 for the security controllers. But it is not DirectX 10, so it doesn't have all the features. Because I already went over this with the stupid idiot text for GTA 4 because they don't know what they're talking about. They think the problem in XP when the game wasn't working right was that I needed to update my DirectX 9C drivers to DirectX 10, which deals with the Vista platform, not XP. XP's not a Vista platform. The Vista platforms are 7, 8, and 10. So after listening to that moron, I realized that he's overpaid idiot and doesn't know nothing about what he's talking about. So these will work in the DirectX 9 systems. When trying to use it on a fancier graphics card, you may see some distortations here. Uh, these are like tiled. I think it's tiled like this. See how that square sits? And what it is that you'll see these flaky little bit of colors. They will actually outline the size of the tile, literally. And what you'll see is a bunch of squares stretched all across here, mixed with the green, some yellow, orange, red, and whatnot in there. And it looks like a mess. So I don't know, maybe because this graphics card isn't all that, it's able to do this, or maybe because it's an Hewlett Packard laptop, not a self-built machine, that maybe it has a way to balance out the color system. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and finishing my editing here because what I'm going to do is get started into this game um, and get our little fight going on for what it's worth. Okay, I've moved some of these people here for the AIs because what they'll do is they need to, if you place them by certain resources, they will walk back here exposing everything that they found. It'll give them a heads up or a start. I always do that because it's my map. I already know where everything is going to be at. Now, I've played this game called, what do they call that thing? Uh, StarCraft or Warcraft. Anyways, it's kind of like this, but the AIs are not as stable because in order to have a single player game there, not only do you have to place out all this and all the resources, but you have to already have the army built, pre-built for the enemy because for some reason it takes an hour before it's like the game goes, oh, I'm supposed to make soldiers to defend my workers. I'm supposed to make buildings, by the time the game realizes it was supposed to do that, your military's already been built, and it ain't nothing. You just walk over them, and they're all gone. But this here is a little different than StarCraft because uh, I believe this all really started with the Microsoft games. So what they're going to do is that they're going to build their military and get it up and running. And by the time you get yours going, they'll be set. So we're going to go ahead and save this. I'm just going to give it any title because that will do. And we'll just go ahead and play it out right through the test here. The music won't be playing in the background because it's obnoxiously loud and it doesn't seem like there's a way to lower it down. So let's get started. So we're in the game.
Oklahoma,
So we're going to
Alma,
start moving people out and around.
Olare, Zokonta,
So one of the things we're going to do
Zokonta,
is that we got to
Dana
collect
E, Sompus,
resources.
Rogan,
And where we start
Iwata,
at, there ain't nothing. And as you can see, we got our town center. We can make people or advance the tool age, but we're going to need 500 in food. And as you can see up here, there's 0. And the counter is over the stone, so I can't see what it is. So it's an old Microsoft game for Windows 95 and 98. But for what it is, I like it. I thought it was pretty neat. So I'll get back to you because as you can see, this is the slow spot. This is where it starts off.